Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Dom and the first gaming update from me for 2024. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you had a great Christmas. Hope your new year is going well. And here's to an absolutely amazing 2024. So yeah, 2023 is in the book. Have to say, absolutely superb year for me. I know for many, not necessarily quite the same, but for me, brilliant year. Lots of good gaming. Family life went well. Work went pretty well. So health is pretty good. Touch wood. So all good. I hope yours was successful. In terms of gaming, didn't do as much gaming as I would like, but then I think I could game twice a week, 3 times a week, every week, and still feel I haven't done enough. Actually, no, that would be nice. Actually, wouldn't it? What's your maximum? What's the perfect amount of gaming? I reckon twice a week. A decent game twice a week. I'd be happy with that. Anyway, it is what it is. I didn't do that. I did get plenty of games in. I managed to get quite a few games done on the table here in the boot room, which was great. In terms of projects, it was all over the place as usual. The main project I was aiming to do for 2023, was my Italian Wars. And I made a start. I did quite a few pipe blocks and various other units, and then just sort of fizzled out on it. And that was mainly because I ran out of, because I wasn't sure what I was going to play it with. And also I was realising I was going to have to do both sides. But on the other side, on the positive, I did launch into the Bruce's project, I did the Boxers project. What else did I do last year? Quite a lot of, lots of random stuff. All the Epic, of course, got underway, and I've cracked on through that. More of that later on when I look at work in progress. So let's think. I don't really do resolutions because I just don't. I never keep to them, even when I did do them. But sort of goals, I guess, for next year, or for this year, I should say now. It is 2024, Dom. You just said that. You did. I guess my goal for 2024 is to read more. I'm conscious that my book collection is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and yet I don't spend an awful lot of time reading. What I do spend a lot of time doing is painting and watching YouTube crap. I watch some good stuff on YouTube. Some of my subscribers have their own channels, and I watch all those. But also I watch a lot of rubbish, and it becomes a bit addictive. So this year I'm going to try and read more. Rather than picking up the tablet, I'll pick up the book. Now that could be a lot easier because this year we plan to do quite a lot more trips. Yeah, you thought I did a lot of trips last year. You've seen nothing yet this year. So that will allow time to read because I don't take the paintbrush generally. And so I get on and read. So that's going to be my resolution for the new year. As in terms of gaming, I don't really know. Is the honest truth. I know I want to do the Gallic armies. You've seen last update. I showed off all the Victrix purchases I got. I'll show you some more in a bit of some of the other purchases I made over Christmas. And so that will happen this year. My goal is kind of to get the figures painted up in time for CrackCon in October. That'll be the 19th of October. Don't know whether I'll use them there, but if I get them all painted, there's an option there, because I know Martin and some others are talking about doing a big Hail Caesar game using all the Romans they've got in some sort of civil war. So maybe my Celts could be worked in there somewhere. We'll see. Anyway, they're there to be done, and I want to do that. I want to do some more ancients this year. Proper ancients rather than medieval ancients. You know what I mean. So that's definitely coming. I think the Bruce's project's pretty much done. There's a couple of little bits that need to be finished off on that, so that's finished. All the Roses, likewise, you'll see in the painting update a couple of units I've done on that. But I think from memory, I've got some mounted and dismounted longbowmen that I want to make one more unit of, just so I've got them for the future. and I think that's pretty much them done. I've got a couple of boxes of figures, but I'm not sure I'm going to use them. I might just put them into the longest storage of opportunity box. Other than that, I've got Box of Rebellion figures to finish off, and I'm certainly adding to the Indian Mutiny figures that I'm painting up, and you'll see some of those in a minute, but also I'll continue with that a little bit. I don't think I'm going to go into a full black powder army, never say never, but I think I'm just going to keep it to Men Will Be Kings and possibly use it for sharp practice. So that's the aim with that. Other than that, I'm hankering after playing some Second World War as well. I love my O group, but I'm thinking about something using larger scales, so maybe 28mm, and I'm wondering whether rapid fire might be a good option for that. I love bolt action, but I know it's some people. It's a real Marmite rule set. People love it or they hate it, and not many people at the club seem to love it. So I'm thinking maybe rapid fire. John and I were talking about it the other day, and I think maybe we might have a try at that 28mm, see how it goes. And other than that, one thing that I nearly did this year, or nearly did 2023, I keep saying this year, it is the 2nd of January when I'm doing this video. One of the things I did think about doing last year was launching into my American Civil War 28mm. I've got loads. Mad Sean from Metal Mercenaries gave me some metals a while back, and I'm kind of toying with the idea of launching into that, probably to do it as a sharp practice force initially, and we'll see where it goes. And I've got 15mm for plain black powder. I've got loads of those, so I don't kind of really want to go that way, so I might just do 28mm sharp practice ACW. We shall see. Anyway, that's enough. Let's take a look at what I have been painting. So over the Christmas period, I've been working through quite a lot of figures, actually. A lot of epics, so hold on to your hats for that. First up, these are 2 regiments, one of Imperial, one of Swedish, Pike and Shot from the Warlord epic range. The ones in the front you might recognise if you saw my video on how I paint these guys so quickly. 3-foot rule applies and all that, so I'll put a link here if I remember. And the second one, I used a slightly different, more yellowy spray to get the colours for this, and actually, as you can see, I think the effect's quite good. I'm quite happy with it. Getting tables on the figures is the name of the game. Getting figures on the table is the name of the game for me, I'm quite happy with the standard these come out at. So in front also there's a, I don't know where this happened, there was just a single cavalryman in my pile of shame, pile of opportunity, sorry, so I just knocked him up as a cavalry leader. I never have enough officers, it seems, whenever I play games, so just having a single one on a horse makes perfect sense. So there you go, 2 more battalion for the collection. And yeah, more epics. This is a whole load of Scots Covenanter forces. Mentioned before, and you may have seen the videos I did, that I was given a box, the starter army for the Covenanter forces from, whoops, too many on the thing, then I won't go around. I was given the starter armour by Warlords, and also the Montrose starter army, which was very generous of them, and I already had quite a few sprues of Covenanter figures from, this is just too big for the table, for the tourney table. Sorry, I'm losing track. So I was, a couple of friends down the club kindly donated their free sprues that came with War Games Illustrated magazine. So I already had quite a lot. Now I've got even more. So I've been painting them up because the Scots did take, had forces involved in the Protestant forces in the 30-Year War, which is what I've been doing. But I'm thinking now, given I've got so many Scots, and talking with Jonathan, my regular opponent down at the Wargaming Club at Farnborough, he's kind of keen to get his old ECW figures out. So I thought, right, I might as well just bite the bullet. So over 2024, I'm going to start working on the Covenanters and the Montrose forces as depicted, basically as forces for the English Civil War, or it's not really the English Civil War at that stage. Anyway, the war that grips England around the period of the English Civil War. And so I think these will probably be the last regiments that I put together for the 30-year war. I think I've probably got about 5, maybe 6 battaglia already as Scottish, and that's probably far too many. Anyway, it is what it is. They'll look great on the table, and you can see just massed up. They just look, I think they look great. I'm really pleased with them. You can see the ones at the front have got a slightly different base coat, base colour than the ones at the back. Ones at the back I use a grey undercoat. So there's a lot of the Covenanters are supposed to be wearing Flodden grey, is what it's called, and I've read up a lot over this Christmas period about what that actually means, and there's some discrepancies around it. Now, I think somebody even commented on my earlier video that it wasn't grey. It probably wasn't true grey, but from everything I've read, it seems like it was just basically another word for linen, unbleached linen, uncoloured, undyed linen. So I think from what I've read, again, it seems like, and I'm sure there's lots of keyboard historians out there who will correct me, but it seems like the colours varied considerably. The main thing was the fact that they were not dyed in any way. So they were, could be grey, could be linen colour, could be sort of an off-white kind of colour. It could be all sorts of things within that sort of spectrum, even up to a sort of a khaki or a tanny kind of colour. So Flodden grey was just more of a category than an actual colour. So that's what I'm going to stick to. Also, painting them with the grey and then putting Agrax Earthshade wash over the top is a lot easier to do, and I like using Halford's grey as my undercoat anyway, so that makes the job so much easier, as you've seen from my video about painting the English Civil War epics. So there you go, 3 more battaglia. I just love the look of them, really love the look of them. I must get another game in fairly soon with these fellas to the fore. Anyway, there you go, more figures painted. So I've spoken about this before. I resisted heading into the colonial period. But after playing multiple games of Men Who Would Be King down the club using Tony and Paul's beautiful Indian mutiny figures, I just had to dip my toe slightly in there. So these are predominantly plastic Perry Afghans, which are kind of interchangeable, I think. I mean, they're not perfect as mutineer type troops, but they'll do well for the irregulars that you have within the Indian mutiny armies in Men Who Would Be Kings. There's a couple of foundry metal figures in there as well, because I did invest in a few of theirs. I've just done them in multiple different sort of colours. They may be a tad too bright for the Indian mutiny, but there isn't much guidance on it other than the fact there was a lot of sort of tans and whites and off-whites and that sort of thing as colours, but I just thought it's a bit of fun. You notice they haven't got any standards. I need to buy some standards or find some standards that are appropriate for the period. I've got the ones that came in the Perry box, but they're all obviously Afghans, and I think probably that's pushing the point, maybe. I don't know, I may still put them on. But there you go, another unit done. Quite pleased with how they came out. They are nice figures. They're dead simple to paint up, dead simple to make as well, although some of the arms are a little bit hard to push on, and as I found when I came to paint these, a couple of them, the gaps were a little bit bigger than I'd realised, but I think again they come together nicely and look good. So there you go, some irregular troops from the Indian Mutiny, we'll call it that. So alongside the irregular mutineers, I thought they need some artillery support. So this is a field gun with 4-man crew. It did come with 6. It's actually a foundry, War Games foundry piece, but the extra 2 crew members I don't need for Men Will Be King, so I've put them into the irregular bunch you just saw. And I can always bring them back out and use them if a game requires more gun crew than this. So nice sort of figures, actually. I really enjoyed painting these up. Again, kept them simple, and I think they've got real character. I love the guy sort of about to set the cannon off, and he's obviously not terribly comfortable doing so because he's holding the his hand against his face as if that's going to help if the gun explodes. Whereas the guy with the ramrod is standing there like, yeah, what? Come on, just get on with it. So yeah, kind of fun. There you go. Gun crew's done. Right, I'm probably taking taking chances here with so many figures on the turntable at one go. I showed previously the 53rd Shropshire Regiment I did for the Indian Mutiny period. Wasn't terribly happy with the figures exactly, but they're done. But I've done some more here. So the gun crew is also from the same manufacturer as those. Is it AK miniatures or AW miniatures? You can see they're a fair bit bigger than the other ones here that are on the turntable, which actually are 28 mils from War Games Foundry. But he'll be fine once they're on the table properly. So there's a British gun crew, and then another 8 British infantry, this time wearing the white fatigues that was fairly common of the Indian Mutiny period. And then some officers. These are the character packs that you get from Foundry. There's a sort of enzyme in the blue, almost postman uniform, a hardened veteran standing out in front with his sabre, a guy behind with looks very warlike, and somebody wearing a blue jacket who I think is kind of like a medical man, almost like if you're playing sharp practice, which I may well do with these figures. He could be, you know, the sort of the physic that you get within that period. So, yeah, very happy how these came out actually. Apart from the modelling on the gun crews, which I'm not terribly happy with the faces. It's mainly the faces I don't like. I think that's the thing with them. But the Foundry ones are really nice, if a little challenged in terms of height, but all came out well, and can join the forces for the Indian Mutiny games. So these figures are entirely down to Martin's 7th son, because he sent me some of his beautiful figures that he's been having sculpted, including the guy there, who's the new one, who's supposed to be a knight who's sort of got a little bit of attitude to him, and I thought he's ideal as a standard bearer for the command base. But and also had a couple of his other figures that I hadn't got around to using yet. He sent me some time ago, so I thought they'd all go on a nice command base. So you've got the guy holding the raw standard is one of his figures. Guy running in front, obviously with the axe. You got the the hammer. You got the archer. Unfortunately, I've just noticed part of his bow is broken off, so I don't know where that's gone. I'll have to hunt for that. And indeed, the guy in the centre of the bill and bow unit at the back there is also one of Martin's ragged staff miniatures. So I'd finished my War of the Roses. I've got so many little retinues of various types that I really didn't plan to do any more at all, but I felt this had to be done. And taking advantage of the figures that Martin sent, and as I do, I sort of look up on various lords of the period, and sort of think through what I would like to do next. Also, if I'm honest, sort of coloured by how easy their heraldry is, because I'm not the best painter of doing detail for sure. I'm more of an area effect man, and I found Sir Humphrey Neville as a lord. He's a really interesting character. Met a very early end in the war, so yeah, we'll see how much he gets to play out things. But he was sort of almost like the black sheep of the Neville family. Nevilles were very much a Yorkist family, but this branch of the Nevilles went the other way, and were very, very staunch Lancastrian supporters, which was, if I'm honest, another reason why I chose him as a lord, because I thought Martin loves the Yorkist forces more than the Lancastrians, and I thought it's a good way of annoying him is that I'm using his figures as a Lancastrian command. So yeah, Sir Humphrey was a staunch Lancastrian, met his end fairly early on in the Wars of the Roses, as a lot of the lords did, but I just thought it was a bit of fun. I also had a few Perry, Bill and Bow figures left in the box, and I've managed to eke out this unit, and then I've got another one which is on the painting table right now. So I'll have 2 Bill and Bow with his command base, and that is probably going to be it now. He said, although I'm just thinking I've got some mounted longbow I want to do as well, but that's it, honestly, really, genuine, maybe, possibly. And I showed a little while ago my sort of epic purchase of Celtic troops from Victrix, and my plans are to do a rather large Celtic force, probably Gallic force, this year, 2024, for Hail Caesar, potentially to use at CrackCon later in the year. We'll see. Depends on where we go with that. I know Martin and some of the others are doing loads of Romans, so maybe they'll join the civil war between the Romans. Maybe I'll just do something else. I don't know. But I found I had a sprue of Warlords plastic Celtic warriors. I think they've given me with an order, so I just sort of had a test go with them, really, which is these 2 bases here. So the bare-chested guys I took a new approach with. I undercoated with barbarian flesh, I think it is, from I think it's Army Painter spray can, and then just basically washed it with a shade, and that came out how it is now, which I'm very pleased with. The guys with armour were done in a more traditional way for me, which is undercoated with grey and then built up from there, but I was quite pleased with how quickly I could do the bear guys, which will help me cut through these figures pretty quickly. Now, Warlords plastic Celtic warriors are pretty basic. They have some really odd poses, but as Martin said, Seventh Son, they go together nicely as a base. If you're not particularly worried about the number of figures you have, it's all about the frontage. You can pack up. You don't have to pack them on, and then they look actually pretty good. So there you go. That's my test unit done. 2024. I've got a lot more of these fellas and Victrix ones to assemble and paint up. So finally, for now, these are my final figures of 2023. These are 15mm Old Glory Finnish cavalry. They'll join the Swedish forces as part of the Finnish light cavalry that were very effective troops within the Swedish 30-year war armies. I base them up as 4 to a base. I should really do them as 3 to show that they're properly light troops, but I just like the effect of 4, so that's what I've done. You get 9 in a pack, so basically it's 1 unit per pack. So yeah, I've taken the colour schemes from the Osprey book on the Swedish forces, which seem to have them wearing sort of red coats. As I said, they're lightly armed troops. They were described as, well, there was a book I read that describes the Finns as being, extremely fearsome and warlike. In fact, they say, some armies had the Cossacks, the Swedes had the Finns, and certainly in the rules they are pretty fearsome. They have fierce charge, very aggressive. They're light cavalry, however, so they tend to die quite quickly. But yeah, a lot of fun to have. So couldn't find an actual actual Finnish flag unit. So I've just put one of the Swedish ones on there, just because you've got to have a standard, haven't you, on the unit. So there you go. That is my last unit of 2023. Quite pleased with how it came out. Look forward to, I'm really hankering after a big 30-year war epic game at some point soon. There you go. So gaming wise, not an awful lot's happened, obviously, because we've had the long Christmas break. I did lay out the table to play a big game of Hail Caesar using my Bruce's and Ireland collection. Played 2 turns, I think, over the Christmas period, because actually I didn't have as much time as I thought I was going to do. In fact, below where the camera is here, you would see the game all laid out. So I will continue that over the next few days. The beauty of having it set up on the table here is that I can just play it when I've got half an hour free, whatever it may be, and that's what I'll do. So at some point, if you follow the channel, you'll see that game go up. Just the Friday before Christmas, literally the Friday before Christmas, Jonathan and I played a 15mm black powder Napoleonic game. We set it in the peninsula, basically. We went with points armies. I know people don't like that, but we do. And I think we did 650 points, if I remember rightly. 15 mils, I say. It was a cracking game, really, really good. Most of the club was playing a kind of mini tournament of Lion Rampant, which Jonathan wasn't bothered joining in, and I wasn't that excited about myself either. I like Lion Rampant, but a sort of tournament wasn't my thing, and I know Jonathan hates tournaments, so he didn't want to do it either. So we played Black Powder, and it was a humdinger. Really, really good game. Really enjoyable, very relaxed. It was. I'll put the video up. I'm editing it at the moment. Probably go up this Friday, which if it does, I'll put the link up here. So you should be able to see that if you're interested. It was, without giving anything too much away, it was a very tight fight, and even though it was a pretty clear victory to one side, it could have gone either way. Really could have gone either way, and was thoroughly enjoyable. And that's the sort of game you love, right? Not sure what we're going to do this Friday. Jonathan was thinking about sharp practice, so maybe we're going to do a sharp practice game, which will make a change. I haven't done one of those for a while, so we'll see. But again, I'll play that. Then I'm away a couple of weeks, I think. So probably won't be any games, but yeah, it is what it is. We'll do some history instead. And as I said earlier, do some reading. In terms of purchasing, well, let's talk Christmas lists. So Christmas presents this year. I was pretty good this year. I got some good stuff. Well, first up, my future son-in-law thinks it's hilarious to try and take the pee out of me as much as possible, which is a good thing, right? He buys me weird beers because he knows I don't like weird beers, and tries to find ones that I'll hate. Laugh has been on him so far that most of them I've actually quite enjoyed. There was one, it was banana bread one he did the other, well, that was horrible. But anyway, he also bought me toy soldiers. He said, it said toys on your list, and I know you like soldiers, so he bought me toy soldiers. So these are literally toy soldiers. So anybody who wants any toy soldiers, shout. Otherwise, these are going to the charity shop. Thank you, Paul, for that. Right. Other presents, which was slightly better. Well, a lot better, actually. So first up, I got this book. This is Michael Palin's book about his great uncle Harry, and stories of his serving in the First World War, I think it was, primarily, and also colonial period. So he fought in India and Gallipoli and Flanders. So I thought it looked a really interesting book. I like Michael Palin's stuff, and so I'm really looking forward to reading this. Probably means I head into a First World War period. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, so that was first up. My lovely youngest daughter bought me a couple of Bushido characters. So this is Renish. Rinishi. So I'm doing the Pirates ones, and so she bought me that one, and also Tejo characters. So a couple of those to join my forces. Still haven't had a game of it, but I'm quite enjoying painting them up just as a bit of a something a bit different. I also got this Conflict 47 T34 ZP model from Warlord Games. I mentioned when we went to Ken's Stag Weekend in Nottingham, the boys and I played some Conflict 47 at the Warlord shop and really enjoyed it. And I bought a few figures to add in. Basically, you can use all your bolt action stuff and then just supplement it with some weird shit. And so I thought I'd do the same. So I think through this year, I know the community on the PCP is planning a sort of build an army kind of thing for their sort of fun challenge. And so I thought I might do Conflict 47 as my contribution to that. So because it's something I probably wouldn't do otherwise. So doing something a month or so would be quite fun. So I think the way they're doing it is like alternating. You'll do a unit 1 month, and then the next month would be characters, and then vehicles and scenery, you know, all sorts, and they're splitting it up across the year. So Conflict 47 was another present. Also, this is Flames of War Recce Patrol for the Americans. You get a Jeep, a Greyhound and an M20 Scout car in there. In fact, you get two Jeeps, 2 Greyhounds or M20 Scout cars. I'm expanding my 15mm O Group forces to do some Americans, so these will form part of that. So that was that. Also, where is it? Here we go. I used some of my money that I was given to buy, this is Pike and Shot's Starfort scenery pack from Sarissa. I thought this would be fun as a feature in a game or two, so I thought I'd pick that up. It was being, I think it was in Toyment we're doing it. Excuse me, in Toyment down in Poole we're doing it, and it was quite well reduced. So I thought, get that. So yeah, got to make that up and do that. But that looked fun. And also, while I was on their website, I picked up some Perimetals, which is, these are the characters for Wellington, Uxbridge and Picton. Because I realised for all my Napoleonic British forces, I don't have a Wellington in 28mm, I don't have a Picton in 28mm, I do have an Uxbridge, so he may be adapted into something else. But I thought, Picton, I always thought was one of the best generals of the period, really colourful, lively sort. So I thought I must do him, and we've got to have a Wellington, right? So yeah, so that was that. So other purchases over this period, during the Warlords had a bit of a clearance sale, so I picked up some more of the O-gauge tree or N-gauge trees that they do. I bought 2 boxes of these. You get 8 little trees in there. I really like these. They were like £10 for 8, which I thought was pretty good, and they're really nice. So I bought 2 boxes of them. I already had a couple of boxes, although mine are starting to get a bit threadbare. So I need to find a way of reflocking them so they look good. So good addition to the terrain stash for 15mm. And just talking about trees, I'll just knock one on the floor. There we go. I also, from Warlords, picked up some more Gallic troops. So I've got that sort of skirmishing tribesmen with javelins, some slingers, some archers, and also these are actually Germans, but I think I can get away with it. This is Warrior Command, which I can then put into some of the units. So those I picked up in their sales, so that was pretty good. I was quite happy with that. I also went along to Magister Militarium, as you know, is closing down, or has closed down effectively, and they're just selling off what they have left. So I bought a few packs of 15mm Napoleonics. I've got some French Lancers. What are these? Yeah, more Lancers there. Sorry, I'm not showing them at all here on my French infantry. Some more Lancers there. More Lancers there. I've got both Guard Lancers and regular Lancers. Those I think are French commanders. More French infantry. French infantry. French infantry. French infantry. And French infantry command. So I bought those just because I've been playing French a lot. So the game that I talked about earlier that we played last Friday before Christmas, I played French again. So I've been supplementing my 15mm. I was a little disappointed with these. I should have known better. I bought these little villages. So I bought this one and this one from Militarium because I thought they'd be great for sort of strong points. But what I didn't remember or realise is they're rubber. So yeah, and this one's better. This one actually looks pretty good, but it's still rubber. So what I'm going to do is mount them on some artist board, and then just sort of try and, because this one needs to be flattened seriously because it's got wrinkles in it. Yeah, just doesn't look great. So I thought I'll get the hot glue gun out and try and squash it down onto some artboard or some artist board, something like that. So it's nice and squashed down, and then just sort of do a bit of work making these look a little bit better than they do at the moment. I mean, they're not awful, and they'll do fine for 15mm, and they were being sold off, as say, quite cheaply. So that was that. So I think that's it in terms of purchases. I have bought some other figures, but they haven't arrived yet, so I'll talk about them next time. But yeah, other than that, that was all my Christmas that was all my Christmas goodies. So anyway, I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a really good Christmas period, and I hope New Year brings you everything that you wish for yourself and for your family. And may you have some great games and your projects go well. Anyway, thanks for all the support through 2023, and before that, really appreciate it. The channel numbers are going up. Not far off 4,000 subscribers, which is quite scary. So I love the fact people click that subscribe button. If you haven't, please consider doing so. I can only promise you to continue through my wargaming journey, showing what I'm working on, showing some of the games I'm playing. I think I'm going to focus more and more on big battles. I love a big battle. Maybe not a Ken Riley big battle size, but for me a big battle. Beyond skirmish, shall we say, battle. So if that interests you, please click that subscribe. I'll also try and do a few sort of helpful videos as I go along, which is what I try and do. My how to paint epic figures, epic pikemen seem to go down very well, so maybe I'll do some more of those sort of videos because people seem to appreciate how to get figures on the table quickly, and that's what I try to achieve. And thank you to those who have joined the channel as members and also the Patreons, much appreciated. And I must this year try and do something a bit more special for them because they put a little bit of money into the channel, which is awesome, and I'm very much appreciated. I'm planning to save all that up and probably buy some. Well, actually, what I really want to do is get some editing lessons because I think my editing of my channel could do with a bit of work. So I might even go and try and do a night course using some of the Patreon and channel membership subscription money. So thank you to those people. They know who they are. I think that's it for now. So as I say, stay well, stay safe. I hope 2024 is very positive for everybody, and thank you for your continued support. I will see you all again soon. This is Dom signing out.